Oh, hi everybody, and welcome to the full moon in Leo. This is a very auspicious time at this time of the year. It's the beginning of, well, it's almost the beginning of a new astrological year. We're going to be moving into Pisces soon, which is a really intense time to let go and also go into vision. And then after that, we move into Aries in March. And even though it feels like that's a couple of months away, the reality is that now's the time that we lay the foundation of what it is that we're creating. So with this full moon in Leo, hi Fiona, welcome. I've just got you on mute, so just to get the call going. And so at this point in time, we have a really powerful chance to create some new stuff that's going on. So I also apologise for any background noise. There is garbage pickup day today, so welcome world. We do have garbage collection in Brisbane. So what we're also looking at with the energy of this particular full moon is that it is actually it's a lunar eclipse. It's a blood moon, which means I think it's something to do with the distance or the location of the moon to the planet. And it's also a blue moon, which means that it's the second full moon in an astrological month. So it's the second full moon here in the month. So I'm just going to touch in a little bit about that as well, because with the eclipse, it's a really powerful time. With the moon being in Leo, what's going on is our time in this energy is to look at ourselves, because it's about the identity. Leo is about who am I, okay? And the other energy around this particular time is the fact that the sun is in Aquarius. Now, with the sun being in Aquarius, what we've got is the collective. So it's all about me versus the collective, and how do I function in the collective? What's going on for me? And it's a pretty full-on time for all of us. So with this lunar eclipse happening as well, we're really being pushed to see what's going on in our world and what needs to be really addressed or what needs to be cleaned out big time. So it's just something to be aware of because we're in the beginning of an eclipse season. And if anyone was interested in eclipses, the last time there was an eclipse in Leo was when it was the new moon in Leo last August. And it was the one that was passing over the US. So there's a lot of stuff going on about people traveling around the US to see the total lunar eclipse, solar eclipse in the US. Everyone was traveling to Oregon to go and see that. So that's pretty huge stuff. So this is actually like a culmination of time from that point back then to now. What's been going on for you? What is it that you need to see and to be looking at? And over the last 6 months, you will have had a lot of stuff come up and need to be addressed. You know, a lot of our personal behaviour, how are we really behaving? Are we owning our shit? Are we owning our behaviour in terms of how we handle the collective? All that sort of stuff. And it's challenging because we know where we come from within ourselves, but sometimes we have something pushed back at us or shown to us, which is really uncomfortable. And that's a challenging thing for us to look at. So this is the focus as well around self-empowerment and, you know, sovereignty. And from my perspective, for those who are following my work and for those who may be new to it, the sovereignty is not about us against the world or me standing, you know, and fighting a good cause. It's taking ownership of myself. Am I truly being as true to myself as possible and not getting caught up in the collective energy that can be very dire and dark and heavy when you're looking at, you know, what's going on in the world with the environment, with governments, with wars and all the rest of it. So how do I take ownership of all my behaviour and know that I'm doing the best possibly I can and own everything, every aspect of myself? And it's a hard thing to do. Don't get me wrong. It's not a fucking walk in the park. It's really tough. So, and we're constantly being shown this stuff. And so this card I'm about to draw for the collective is essentially what's coming up and what are we not looking at? And then I'll draw a card for each of the attendees who's joined the call. And so far we have Anna Marie, and we did have someone else on the call who was unfortunately dropped out. So I'll draw a card for Fiona as well. And I had another call asking for someone else to have a card today too, one of my clients in Ireland, if she doesn't get to dial in. So there'll be 3 people so far, so that's pretty cool. And there'll be a thread, guaranteed. You'll start to see it all come together. So the first card is going to be for the collective. And here we go. All right. So this card is called Understanding. And what I can see in this card is a little bird just like looking to try and test its wings. And what the bird doesn't realize here is that in actual fact, even though it thinks it can see a cage, the reality is the cage disappears. So where are we staying stuck in something that is comfortable because it's all we know at this point in time? So if we want to test our wings, we have to recognize that the door of the cage is open and the actual, bars of the cage disappear, and we can fly if we choose to. Either that or we stay in the cage because there's a comfort in that. So it's what we're all being asked to look at this point in time. Where are we sticking in our comfort zones and not standing in or moving out and doing something that we really want to do because it's easier to stay in our comfort zone? I think this is a fairly important card, and I think all of us can relate to this in some way, shape or form. It's a common one, for a thread for everybody. So this is the collective card for everybody, and so now I'm going to draw a card for Lenka, who wasn't able to join us this morning. And the card for Lenka is, how exciting, Lenka. You've got an opportunity to go on an adventure. So where are you possibly not allowing your inner child to come out, and that you're staying in the adult trying to control things and be, and do the right thing, where in actual fact now's an opportunity for you to truly, go on that adventure and allow your inner child to really come out and play. This is a brilliant time for you to be able to do that. And where are you actually hiding your child? Actually, this is a good one. Where are you hiding your child and trying to lord it over with your adult self and tell her you know what's right and you know what's best for her, where in actual fact she needs to come out and play and have a good time. And this is a really good card for you, Lenka, because I know that it's a challenging role being full on with the parenting and all the rest of it. So allow your inner child to come out and have some play with your little ones as well. That should be a lot of fun. And for you and your husband, I think that would be really cool. All right, so that's Lenka's card. And Fiona, who joined us a moment ago, whether she's able to come back again or not, I don't know. But in the meantime, I will draw her a card. And so here we are. This is Fiona's card. This is beautiful. Fiona, this card here is about maturity, as it says. But where in your world are you not allowing yourself to be present in your maturity? This is an interesting one for you, Fiona, because it's about recognizing that you are able to be in this place, but where are you not allowing your knowledge and your maturity and your experience to stand in its own truth and stand in its own strength? Because a lot of your experiences and a lot of your life that you've experienced has a lot to bear with what's going on for you and what it is that you'd like to do now. So you need to let that part of your maturity and your experience come through and actually be present. So this is for you, Fiona. You let that come through. Let your maturity and your experiences come through and shine through in your work. It's quite beautiful. Okie dokie. Now we have Anna Marie. Finally, get a card for Anna Marie. Yay! So, okay. And Anna Marie has a friend, Carly, here. So we'll do a card for Carly as well. Excellent. All righty. Okay, Anna Marie. This one's called Politics. Okay. Now, in this particular card, there's 2 aspects to it, which I'll talk to. It's the smiley face we put on for the world, and who are we behind the scenes where we have to be conniving and controlling. But in the same breath, when we look at it from an empowerment perspective, where are you putting on a brave face, or where are you playing politics in order to experience or get what you feel you need to do? Okay, so have a good look at that, because sometimes the politics can actually be poisonous and we have to own our behaviour, and this might come back and bite you. So it's a really good time to look at the politics and see if you're really standing in integrity and standing in your truth, or if it's a game you feel like you have to play in order to get what you want. because that's the way everybody else seems to play the game. And the reality is you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You have a choice here, which we all do, okay? So it's a pretty confronting card, but it's actually one that needs to be addressed. And all of us have this. Don't feel that you're alone in terms of politics. We all have a political environment that we have to play in order to survive in the world that we're in. But let's come out of survival. Let's step up into empowerment and recognize that, you know, if you want to be in integrity with what you want to do and who you want to work with and all the stuff that you want to create in the world at this point in time, you know, are you going to slide down to their level, and which is poisonous and murky and revolting, or are you going to stand in integrity, which you have every power and every strength to do, okay? So that's pretty huge. And now we're going to do one for Carly. And pull a card for Carly. Righty-ho. Here we go. Alrighty. Hi, Carly. Welcome. This is your card. It's called Innocence. And here it's an image of a master basically holding a cricket, I think it is. Let me have another good look at that. Yeah, no, he's holding a grasshopper. So, and essentially, Carly, this card is about where are you actually not allowing your innocence to stand you in good stead and trying to ride over something. There's a part of you that is probably not allowing that gentle sense of yourself to be part of you, and you may think you need to harden up in order to function on the planet and get really tough. But the reality is that your innocence is really important. It's an important part of your soul. It's an important part of who you are and where you've come from. So don't lose your innocence. You know, if you allow yourself to slide into the way everybody else wants to function, then you lose your innocence. And that is actually a beautiful part of your soul and your presence that you have when you're with people. And so just be aware that it's really easy to get caught up in other people's energy, and to give yourself lots and lots of time and space to ensure that you ground yourself and that you actually come back into your center and allow your innocence to be a part of who you are. Don't try and hide it. Sometimes people are afraid of other people's innocence because it reminds them of what they've lost. So they project their garbage onto others. So just trust that your innocence, who you are, is important, and it's a powerful part of you. And it's one of the multifaceted aspects of self that we often lose when we grow up and become a part of the big world, and we have to wear our big girl's pants to function on the planet. And then we lose that gentleness, and we lose that innocence. And this is important that we don't lose it. So Carly, this is a message for you to don't lose it. Just hang on to it. Make sure that she's protected, and do what you need to do to come back and center yourself, and know that she's going to be okay, and you're not going to lose that part of you. That's quite important. Okay. Wow, there we go. So we have a little series of cards here today where we started out with understanding for the collective. So what part of us is sticking to comfort zones, and where are we not allowing ourselves to step up and come out of our cage? And that means also too, if we do that, then our little innocent self, innocence here too, we'll come back to her, our little innocent self can come out and play and follow the adventure instead of having it all lorded over us by our ordered self, by our adult self. And then, of course, the next card here is the thread of, where do we want our experiences and our maturity to actually come forward and not be hidden. We live a life and we have a lot of experiences in our world, and sometimes when we move into a new environment, we actually dismiss our past experiences and the maturity we have from that aspect. So we need to remember that that part of us is just as important as the world, the environment that we're moving into. So holding on to our knowledge and our maturity and bringing that forward into the new space is important. And then, of course, being very aware not to slide into politics, because politics means that we lose our innocence, okay? And it's not what we want. We want to hang on to who we are and just not let the politics of the rest of the planet and the way the rest of the world functions to be, losing this part of our innocence, okay? This is really beautiful. This is a gorgeous thread of cards. So I just want to say thank you very much to everybody who's joined us today. And as you can see, this is a powerful time. So with the eclipse, just know that we're all going through changes, and if it's uncomfortable, create yourself a safe place to be, because it's going to unfold over time, and the eclipse will show, really bring through what needs to be let go of, which I think is an important part. So an eclipse in Leo, really powerful time, an amazing thread of cards here today. So thank you very much, everybody, and I really appreciate you joining me. And I'll be back again in about 2 weeks' time for the, I think it's going to be the Pisces new moon. So I think we've had the Aquarius new moon. I can't remember. I'm terrible at this stuff, so please don't hold me to it. But we'll have another card for the new moon in 2 weeks' time, and we'll be back then. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. And we shall see you again very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.